Welcome back to The Power Project. I'm your host, Brandy Voth, and it's my goal every single week to inspire you guys at home to go out and lead purpose-filled lives while owning your God-given power. Now, a recurring theme that I'm seeing this year as we navigate 2020 and COVID and businesses closing and people shifting and pivoting is that I'm finding myself having a lot of conversations with people that want to do something different after this. They want to take a step and go a different direction than what they've gone before. They are searching for answers and they're questioning what it is that they were created to do. And so I'm finding myself fielding a lot of conversations like this. So I thought it'd be really great if I gave you guys an inside look with some tangible steps of literally the steps to a purposeful business journey. So without further ado, let's jump right in, shall we? Now, I'm having these conversations in areas with people that I mentor in business and in life coaching, but I'm also having these conversations with friends of mine that maybe they've done the same thing all of their lives, and this is the year that they realized they don't really want to do that same thing anymore. I'm running into people out in public, total strangers that I don't know, that are talking to me about this feels different. It feels like there's something in my soul that I'm being called to do something different. And a lot of times when I tell people what it is that I do, when they ask, what do you do? And you're a multifaceted social entrepreneur, it can be a little difficult for them to see the starting point, the middle, the journey to get you to where you are today. Oftentimes they see where you are and they think it's a destination. They don't realize we're still evolving, we're still growing, we're still becoming. And so when I'm asked what I do, the answer typically is that I'm a podcast host, I'm an author, and I'm a social entrepreneur. And then we go into a little more of what that looks like. Now, far more often than not, people are going to ask, how did you get to that? How did you do that? What did you do in the past? What was your background in the past? And so throughout this episode, I want you guys to really take note, and I want you to really visualize the fact that this is a journey. These are stepping stones along the way. Every single one can build upon the other, and it's not that we just wake up and snap our fingers and we have something figured out overnight that looks like a big, audacious goal. But instead, we can look at it like a stepping stone along the path where each step leads to the next piece of the journey. So I created this formula in the class that I teach, in the business class that I teach, in order to help the women that I mentor really realize and be able to visualize what it looks like to not just get a job and not just focus on a job, because that is where we start. We start with the idea of getting a job. Then we move into career planning, vocational planning, and then the end goal is I want them dreaming big about what they really want to do in life and what their heart's being called to. So I created this Steps to a Purposeful Business Journey path to illustrate it to you at home. And I hope that maybe someone at home listening is able to hear this, listen to this, watch this, and then take the steps on your own purposeful business journey. And the foundational scripture around this is Matthew 25:29. To those who use well what they are given, even more will be given, and they will have abundance. But from those who do nothing, even what little they have will be taken away. So this is the idea behind the fact that we are created to work. We are created to build things. We are created to show up and be able to serve in our vocations. And I believe that we tend to lose focus of vocational servanthood, vocational ministry, vocational service. The fact that we can do whatever job, whatever position God has appointed us to in order to bring glory to Him. And that's what I want you guys to see today, and how we can just build upon that and just keep going along the stepping stones like a stairway. So for this STEPS formula, you guys know I love an acronym. So STEPS stands for, the S is going to be your starting point. The T is going to be a traditional career. The E is going to be an entrepreneurial goal. The P is going to be a philanthropic dream. And the S is going to be a side passion. So take some time if you need to write this down. Come back and listen to this again if you're driving. Starting point, traditional career, entrepreneurial goal, philanthropic dream, and side passion. These are the steps that are going to build along this journey of creating this whole purposeful business journey. It's beautiful when you see it all come together. And I happen to be a person that you can come to me and tell me that this is what you want to do, and this is an idea you have. And I can start pulling out, turning it into this great, big, audacious goal. I have ideas constantly, nonstop. Like my brain fires off daily about things that I want to do in life and things that I think other people could do. So I want you guys to kind of catch that vision in the midst of this episode. So your starting point is going to be, don't miss this. The starting point is really important. If you're not working, if you are working, if you're looking to change jobs, your starting point is going to be, what can I do right now to make money? So maybe you're someone who unfortunately has been laid off, like millions of Americans. I don't even know the number at this point, but maybe you find yourself laid off, or your industry is suffering, or your employer has closed. So you're looking right now, I got to make money, okay? Because we can have these big, huge goals, but it takes money to live in life. We live in a consumer connected society, and we're not able to buy groceries without money or gas or pay the electric bill. So first off, you got to look at, how can I make money right now? And the way that you look at that is going to be, what experience do I have that I can apply to a position that is hiring right now? What skills do I possess? What industry is hiring, and what skills do I have that's going to serve that industry? So this is a JOB. How can I make money right now? If it doesn't look like in a job business, maybe you're looking at a side hustle. How can I make money with my side hustle right now? So if you are like I have a skincare franchise, the way that I can make money right now is by selling skincare. Maybe you have something like that you can do as well. Either way, where's your starting point? How can I make money right now? After the starting point, we're going to move over into the traditional space. And traditional is going to be your conventional type of careers. Like it's your traditional career plan. It's going to be something that may possibly require training or certification. It's going to be the step that you take after you have a job. So if you are in a job right now, maybe you start looking at, what is the next career plan that I want to do? How can I build on this? How can I advance in this career? How can I move up? And then if you're in a job that doesn't have a place for advancement or moving up, then start thinking about, what is a traditional career path I would like to take? What skills do I have that would fit this career? And then what do I need to do to prepare for this career in order to expand in it? So this is where we go from like getting a job, having a job, making money, into how do I continue to promote within this, or grow this, or build on this. And this can be in a sense of working for someone else or working for yourself. Maybe you have something that is let's say you're a person with a side hustle. How do I turn this into a career? So maybe if you're in a direct sales company and you are selling products and you make money that way, but in order to turn it into a career, you need to build out a team, a sales team. So you need to learn some leadership and some management skills. If you are working the front desk at a medical office, but you would like to be a nurse, maybe this looks like getting your certification and doing some education there while you're working and making some money. So that's what we're going to do to begin with on the traditional. So we're on the second step of this purposeful business journey, right? Starting point, traditional career path, plan. Then I want you to think of an entrepreneurial goal that you have. And not everyone has the desire to be entrepreneurs, but the more that I talk with people and the more that I get them to dream, the more that you can see there is something that almost everyone wants to do that is their own, that they want to take ownership in. They might just not have the resources, the tools in their tool belt to get them there. That's okay. So this is where you're going to come up with your entrepreneurial goal. What business would you own? If you could own anything, what would you own? What have you ever dreamt of doing on your own? I don't care how crazy this sounds. You get to write this down. Okay? What skills and experience do you have right now to make that business successful? So this is where you're going to go back and you're going to look at the jobs you've had, the career path or plan you've had, and you're going to take skills and expertise from those areas and you're going to apply them to whatever type of entrepreneurial goal that you have at this point. Now, I'm going to caution you right now. It is 2020. Businesses are closing left and right. So it's going to be really crucial in order for us to, if you're going to launch this year and you're not going to wait until things get a little less upside down, you're going to really need to do your market research and find out, is there a market for this business? Is it sustainable? Is it something that people are going to be able to continue being interested in? Is it trendy or is it a long-term lasting business? Let's say, for instance, my husband actually had looked into long ago before he ever started making parts for airplane seats. He had looked into telephone booths, like payphones, and he thought he was going to, put a couple of payphones up. Well, that was right before cell phones came around. So that would have been a really bad entrepreneurial move. So you really need to just gauge the market, do some research, and find out, is there a market for this business? What businesses are doing well right now? What businesses are suffering? What are the projections for next year? You guys, a Google search will give you answers to this. I literally Google everything before I ever think about launching something. I start Googling, I start researching that industry, I start reading articles in business magazines and Forbes and finding out what the economic analysts say about that market. But for now, let's just think about what kind of business you would like to own if you could start any. Next, I want you to go into the fourth step of this purposeful business journey, and I want you to think about the philanthropic piece. How do you want to give back to the world? Because I told you, this is a purposeful business journey. And you guys know that I am a huge advocate for business for good. I want this whole movement of entrepreneurs that say, these are the gifts that I have. These are the gifts that God has given me. This is how I'm giving back, and this is how I'm serving others. Now, most people, if you ask them, if you could give to any cause, if you could support any cause, if you could fund any cause, if you could volunteer with any cause, what would it be that you would be drawn to? So for instance, when I became involved in the fight against human trafficking and mentoring survivors, I had this conversation with my husband because this wasn't his cause. And I wanted him to really have ownership in what his cause was. And he has a really big passion for kids having bicycles. Like, that's on his heart. He has a passion for kids, making sure that they have gifts to open at Christmas and making sure that they have a bicycle to ride. So we, somewhere down the road, want to have some type of philanthropic arm that puts kids on bicycles, kids that otherwise don't have bikes to ride, so they can get out and enjoy the outdoors and exercise and just have that moment of childhood joy that they may not get otherwise. So start thinking there, thinking maybe you're drawn to helping animals or veterans or mental health or grieving families, whatever it is. How the way that you can really hone in on this is to think about, how do you find yourself showing up for others? What manner of service to others has been the most fulfilling to you throughout the years, throughout your life? When have you felt so fulfilled and so joyful by doing something for someone else? And then, like I said, put that into, if you could support any cause, what would it be and how would you do it? Those three questions there typically will answer it. This comes down to anything. It can be as simple as, I really loved making bread and taking it to my neighbors. Whatever it is, we can create a philanthropic arm around that. So then the fifth step of this, and these are not in order as far as building, but these are the steps along the journey that all come together to create the journey as a whole. It's going to be your side passion. So we've got our starting point. We've got our traditional career path. We've got our entrepreneurial goal. We have our philanthropic dream. And then we have our side passion, which is going to be a creative endeavor or a hobby. It's something that you really love doing in your free time. And it's something that you don't do it for monetary gain, notoriety. You don't even do it to help other people. You do it because you love it, the sheer love of it. Maybe it's fishing, okay? Maybe it is because even though that's not creative, that's an endeavor that you, like a hobby that you can build around eventually. Maybe it is writing. Maybe it is poetry or any type of endeavor that you really enjoy or hobby. Maybe it's working on motors, like you love mechanics, something like that. Put that down as your side passion, something that doesn't make you money. You do it because you love it. Hey guys, if you've considered starting a podcast, but you're overwhelmed by how to actually launch, I've created a basics of podcasting course over on Skillshare. So you can sign up for my course and get 2 months of free premium membership. Skillshare is where I learn all types of skills that I don't know how to do otherwise. I'll include the link in the show notes. You can head over to Skillshare and search Brandy Voth's class, The Basics of Podcasting. Okay, and then I want you to look now at my personal journey as well as a few people that I've been working with lately and break it down for you to see where these steps come into play to help them realize their entire journey, purposeful business journey that they're wanting to take in life. Because I walked through an 8 to 16 week program with these people and I help them identify each step along the way. And by the end, we have a whole vocational plan and big audacious goal that we're going to go chase for our lives that attaches us to purpose. I want you to do the same thing with me here. Now, if you look at my steps and you look at my starting point, so my starting point was my skincare business and selling products and building a sales team. That was my starting point right there. From there, my traditional career path was expanded into public speaking because I was speaking in skincare. I was coaching women, mentoring women in business. So that branched into public speaking. That's something I can build upon. Then my entrepreneurial goal of something I really wanted to do and own just totally as my own that was just crazy was a fashion hat company. I always knew I had this in the back of my mind that I loved hats. I wore hats all the time and I wanted this fashion hat company. Then the philanthropic arm that comes into it is that I decided that I wanted some type of a social enterprise to employ traffic survivors. And the love for fashion hats and the social enterprise to employ traffic survivors were married in this beautiful orchestration just recently with the Power Hat Company. Now, my side passion in the midst of this was podcasting and writing. It was something that made me no money, but I loved it. I genuinely loved it. And so what I want you to see here is that you can make money doing one thing. You can have a goal of working towards another. You can give back and you can have a passion that has nothing to do with the monetary gain. But you can identify skills, traits, and characteristics in all of these steps that build together in this. I like to think of it as an umbrella. And underneath the umbrella, we have all those skills and traits of those separate steps that all work together for this purposeful business journey. So my skills and traits that you can identify in everything, every one of those steps is going to be sales. I love sales. And then I love mentoring and coaching others. And I love teaching others business, life skills, speaking into them. That comes into play. The speaking into others, the coaching others, the mentoring others, it comes into play in every single one of those steps. In the skincare sales team, in the public speaking, in the hat company, mentoring and employing traffic survivors, the podcasting, the writing, all of it builds together in this beautiful, purposeful journey. Purposeful business journey. So I want you to look at some people that are not quite as far along the way as I am, but they're learning how to develop their own purposeful business journey. I have few people that I've mentored recently. So one, her starting point, like what she can get a job doing immediately, is working in healthcare or as a caregiver. She's willing to work at the front desk of a nursing home or a caregiving facility, or she's willing to somehow, some way be helping others in a facility that looks like taking care of people. Her traditional career path that she's planning on building out is home health aide and nursing. But her entrepreneurial goal of what she really would like to do is to own a food truck and have a YouTube channel. This may sound like it's not at all attached to the first two. Stick with me and I'll show you how. Her philanthropic arm is going to be that she would love to build an organization that feeds the homeless and takes care of them. And then her side passion is cooking and comedy. So if you look at this and you isolate her identifying skills and traits, it's going to be that she has a passion and a love for caring for others. She wants to feed people and she wants to make them smile. So you could actually say she's going to work as a caregiver, making money, getting certified as a home health aide while she saves money, while she gets ready to start a food truck. And then with the food truck, the YouTube channel can go on with that. It can be cooking and comedy with the lady of the food truck. And then the organization, as far as the philanthropic arm of that, you can use the food truck to go feed the hungry. So literally like one of those, you can care for others, feed others, you can do the philanthropy through the truck, and then you can have a video vlog where you are using your comedy and your cooking to make other people smile. It's amazing how when we really start to look at the gifts that God has given us, the skills that He's given us, we realize that we don't have to have our ministry and bringing glory to God be so elevated to the point that we think we have to be on a platform. We can do it in any place, any position that He places us in. And we can use those gifts He gave us to uniquely show up on this purposeful business journey. Now, another one that I want you to look at. So her starting point is that she wants to be a medical receptionist, and she has the skills and the qualifications to go work in a doctor's office and answer the phone, help with some billing. But then her traditional career path that she would like to take is in radiology or a sonogram technician, something along that way. Now, her entrepreneurial goal is that she would like to have a sonogram and photography business for expecting mothers. She would like to be able to do the sonograms when the mothers are expecting, do the maternity pictures, and do the newborn pictures, and have that as a business as a whole. Her philanthropic arm is that she would like to create an organization that supports women and children and helps women that have lost their children and helps to document memories along the way. Her side passion, it's photography. She doesn't know anything about photography yet, but it's a passion she's always wanted to pursue. So it's something that you can start that at any given moment. Like while she's working as a medical receptionist, she can start learning. She can get a camera. She can start watching some YouTube videos about photography. And then she can start photographing people as a hobby. And then while she's working as a medical receptionist and she's got the photography on the side as a hobby, she can go ahead and start getting her certification that it takes to become a sonogram technician. And PSM, by the way, medical sonography is projected to increase by 19% in the next decade. Same thing for my last girl that is talking about the food truck. The food truck industry before COVID hit has been outpacing the commercial real estate, the commercial restaurant industry for the last 3, 4, 5 years. And then this year, when all of the indoor dining was closed down, food truck industry has gone through the roof. So these are the other ways that we look at the market and decide, is this a good entrepreneurial goal? They can attach it to philanthropy. They can incorporate their side passion with it. And then it's something they can build along the way. Now, her identifying skills and traits there are going to be her desire to nurture, and create memories that are lasting for mothers and babies and be able to document those happy times in their life, but also be there to comfort them in their hard times. I love seeing all of this come together in such this beautiful package. I hope you guys get as excited as I do about it because it just jazzes me up. And it seems like all too often I'm having these conversations with people this year, like we're going to reevaluate what we've done in the past, what's worked, what we want to do in the future. Now, I met a guy that was a bartender at a restaurant where I went in to pick some food up to go. Now, while I was waiting on my food, and we are just two people behind masks having a socially distanced conversation, he started telling me about how it's tough in the restaurant industry right now and how he is looking to pivot, do something different. And so we started talking, and just coming from a business coaching class, I went straight into putting my coaching hat on, and we started talking about brainstorming ideas that he could do. So his starting point is that he's a bartender right now. He is making money doing that because they've cut down staff. Like he said, he's not getting rich doing it, but it's paying the bills, and he's grateful for that job. So he's got the starting point. His traditional career path that he's looking to pursue is that in being a corporate restaurant trainer or plugging into the corporate side of going in and setting up new restaurants. Now, he realizes that this is on hold this year and they're not opening new restaurants, but he also recognizes that there's a shift in the restaurant industry and they're doing some more on-site outdoor catering events, food truck events, like things that they're branching off from traditional restaurant business. And so he's willing to tap into that to build out his career path for on the corporate side of that company. Now, his entrepreneurial goal is that he would like to have a travel food show. He also recognizes that travel is not happening right now. And when it does, it doesn't look the way it used to. But what he can do is he can start with a vlog, a food vlog at home, because he loves to cook, he loves creating new recipes, and he loves trying new food. So he can grab his iPhone and start shooting a vlog of him cooking at home, talking about the food he loves, and sharing recipes so that he can build up a base of followers while he's waiting for the world to open back up for us to go travel and have new experiences and taste new foods. Now, his philanthropic arm of this is that he would like to do international mission trips. He would like to go serve globally at a level that supports those that are hungry and those that are in need and those that are ill. While he can't travel internationally for these missions right now, he can start serving locally. He can serve the homeless community. He can go serve in a food kitchen. He can go do outreach. There are so many opportunities to serve locally that he can get his experience before he starts launching into these international mission trips down the road. His side passion, well, it's travel and food. You probably guessed it. And then his identifying skills and traits here that lead to this purposeful business journey are that he's globally minded, he's passionate about food, and he really loves serving others. And all of those things are built upon within his starting point, his traditional career path, his entrepreneurial goal, his philanthropic arm, and his side passion. It's amazing how we're each given these things in our hearts that light us up, that make us want to go dream and do big things. And we don't realize that every step along the way is a stepping stone on this path of this journey. Now, if you have been listening to this and you're starting to get a little fired up like I am, and you're starting to think of what you can do, how you can do it, when you can do it, and you're writing down notes and you're making notes, I want you to do a brain dump of your skills and your career ideas. So you can take a piece of paper, it doesn't have to look fancy, and you can draw a line down the center of it. On the top left, I want you to write career ideas. And then on the top right, I want you to write skills. And then underneath your career ideas, I want you to brainstorm some career ideas that are realistic, meaning that falls into that starting point. The skills that you have to do a job immediately. What are realistic? What's the most realistic way for you to make money right now that's going to build upon this career plan? And then I want you to also, you can just write down like free flow, whatever you think of here. I want you to also start thinking of some ideas that are creative. Ideas that you always wanted to try, but maybe you never did. Such as my mentee that wanted to try photography, but she had never tried photography. Write that down, not photography, whatever your creative idea is. And then start thinking about, okay, I never thought that I would really be able to tap into this, but I'm going to put this in the creative idea list of things I would like to try, but I'm not sure how to monetize it. Then I want you to write down totally out of the box career ideas, careers that you really don't know anything about, but they interest you. Anything. This can be anything. You think careers that you hear of that people do, and you're like, I don't know what I have to do that, but it's something that I'm interested in. And then on the skills side, I want you to look at what are you good at? Where did you gain these skills? I want you to write down every skill that you're good at, and I want you to say where you gained them. Maybe you've had them all your life. Maybe it's the way you were raised. Maybe it is experience from a previous job or career or volunteer or ministry. Write that down, because if we look back at where we gain these skills, it can typically point us in the direction of the next step on this journey. And then I want you to write down, what skills do you need to learn? So you're going to look at your steps. You're going to look at your starting point, your traditional career path, your entrepreneurial goals, your philanthropic dreams, and then your side passion, your hobby, the thing that you have that just is fun that you don't care about making money at. So you're going to look at what skills do you have to learn for all of those. And then I want you to do some research. I want you to start digging in. But you guys, let me tell you one thing. If you listen to this podcast, if you brain dump your skills and your career ideas, if you break down your steps and you have all the steps along your own purposeful journey, but you never take action to pursue that, you're just wasting your time. You're sitting at home listening to some stranger over your AirPods or your headphones or your computer talk to you about something that gets you fired up in your heart, and then you never take action and you never step out in faith to pursue that. So I want you today to take this information that you've written down, take this information that you've received, and then I want you to figure out, what is the first step you're going to take? What is the first action step you're going to take? Maybe you've already done the first 2 steps of this. Maybe you've already had your starting point. Maybe you've already had your traditional career path. Maybe you're moving into that entrepreneurial and philanthropic piece and side passion piece. Figure out where the next step is that you're going to take on your very own purpose journey. And then I want you to DM me or email me, or however you want to find me. You can find me on Instagram at Brandy Voth. Send me a DM and tell me what your big audacious goal is. Tell me what your philanthropic arm is. Tell me what your entrepreneurial goals are. I want to know. I want to hear from you. Shoot me an email. Head over to my website, the-powerproject.com, and you can sign up for a newsletter over there, and you'll never miss any piece of information that I send out into the world. It's kind of where I give all of my freebies away and things that bring inspiration and motivation into your life. And then if you haven't grabbed The Power Project, A Purposive Journey book, you're going to want to head over to Amazon right now, grab The Power Project, A Journey of Purpose, and you're going to be able to read all about my creation of the Power Hat Company. You're going to read about my creation of the podcast, writing this book, and you're going to hopefully see a little more clearly that this has all been a beautifully orchestrated journey, that I haven't arrived at my destination yet, but that God's still just putting another stepping stone along the way every single day. And if you haven't written a review yet, I would love, if you are listening to us on a podcast platform, do me a favor, write a review. If you're watching us over on YouTube, write a review. Rate us on the podcast platforms. We would love 5 stars, because that's what gets us seen in all of the podcast charts. It's kind of crazy the way it works. And I'm going to do my best to keep bringing you inspiration and motivation every single week. I'm going to be here cheering you along on your very own purposeful business journey. And I can't wait to chat with you next week. But until then, go out and live your best purpose-filled lives.